So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Davion and Elizabeth.
Good morning.
Greetings.
Blessed Empress.
Greetings.
Good morning.
It's lovely to have you here. I know it's going to take some getting used to. And yeah, it's going to take some getting used to. Oh, don't do that.
Oh.
Did you hear that? Yeah. And you're not allowed to touch.
Oh, well, right then.
Got lots of electrons going through. So, thank you and welcome to Galaxy Radio. Can I just ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Galaxy before?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
No Galaxy, man.
And what's been your experience of Galaxy, just out of interest?
It is a conscious radio station, you know. Yeah, man. Conscious radio station, and all a good vibe. So I've heard of it before.
So, what does it feel like being here?
This is my first radio talk and radio interview. So it feels strange.
Does it?
Yeah, man, it feels real strange.
You're saying that you feel quite comfortable here.
Yeah, but comfortable. But as the first time doing anything, you're gonna feel a bit, and we're real to the thing. So where I say how we feel, we get used to it.
Yeah,
man.
Well, you look like you're very comfortable.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable sitting down and everything. Environment comfortable.
Well, give thanks, and I'm glad you're enjoying the space.
Yeah, man.
Because one of the things that we here try to do, or ensure that we do, is that we constantly try to give out a message, information, be that visually or orally, and spiritually. So, we're good to know that we make an impact.
Yeah, man, we do.
Yeah, Galaxy's been around for quite some time. And it's very much a fabric of the community. There are some, I had some individuals come into the shop this strong, and they were saying how, they had only been listening to it for the past 6 months, and they were saying, wow, it's just opened up the awareness to a whole other section of the community, and they're plugged in. They said they're plugged in, and they're going to different events. They're being to one of Prophet Newton's events, and they're saying how they've just had access to a wealth of information and individuals and seminars and talks and cooking workshops and shops and events, and they're like, wow, So it was just nice hearing how the community engages with the works of Galaxy, and bearing in mind that Galaxy, it's not just about us here at Galaxy. In actual fact, what makes Galaxy possible is the listeners, people like yourself,
definitely,
that plug in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, give thanks to all the listeners who regularly call into the shows, who are silent listeners. I want to just rise you up and give thanks to those that are listening in the UK, Sierra Leone, all over the globe. Because remember, you can get us on if you tune in to /Galaxy, Afiwi, you can tune into the World Wide Web. So if you're in Africa, welcome. Greetings. If you're in Asia, I know some of my brothers and sisters are down there. Welcome.
Greetings, blessing.
Yeah. If you're in Australia, I know some of us is down there too. Welcome. Yeah.
Global.
Well, if you're all over Europe, we are global. So we know that there is a works that we are doing, and it's far-reaching. Yeah, a big special welcome to all of those in the Caribbean. Caribbean. So, welcome.
Bless it.
So, back to my two wonderful guests. I'm going to give a little story as to the context of this story here. And before doing so, I recognize that in your book there are caveats you know, and I think it's quite interesting, and this will give you a clue as to what the subject here is about. But it's, for us here at Galaxy, we take a neutral perspective. So when we invite people from the community to share his or her story about whatever particular incident or event that had taken place, we remain very neutral on how we put the information out there. So just to let people know at the top of the hour, and we are neutral. What we have a commitment to do is to put the information out there, research as much as we can to get to ensure that the information is authentic, but where possible we put information out there. And so we recognise there's a huge responsibility around that. So in saying that, you know, that's our viewpoint. So, you know, one of the things that I recognise about our Galaxy listeners, they have very inquiring minds, and, you know, people, you know, we like to say we ensure that we listen with our third eye, you know, and ensure that we are able to have a very good broad perspective on things, so that we can take the information. We don't try to understand, but we try to develop an overstanding. You know, and we know that's the perspective that where we're coming from. So, how we met, I was going to say, I when I was looking at that, I was going to say we met by chance, but was it? That for me is the question, was it? And how we met was that I had gone into a shop and I was talking to somebody. Someone had said that, "Oh, your voice sounds familiar," and they said to me, "I know, you work for Galaxy." And I was talking to this individual and saying, yeah, and they were telling me about, you know, their feelings about some of the shows and how excellent they felt that Galaxy is. And it was sometimes I get this, sometimes I go somewhere and people might recognise my voice and they might approach you, and it's so lovely because people tell you about what they think about Galaxy and how important it is. And it's then when you are talking to the community, you recognise the magnitude of what you are doing, and that is not just about the individual, but it's about the whole of Galaxy. It's about everybody. It's not just about you. And you hear how people's life has been impacted on. You know, I remember in the sister space, a lady phoned up and was speaking to Sister Anua. Greetings, Sister Anua. And Sister Anua dropped a tear because the way this woman was talking to her. I mean, we were all in the studio and it was heartfelt. The love and the compassion that this woman demonstrated and shared to Sister Anua, and that how important what Sister Anua has, you know, what she has said and how it's impacted and inspired this woman's life. And we were all touched. And so when you get feedback from the community and how they appreciate what we do, it's very touching. And after I finished having that conversation, this brother turned to me and said, I wasn't eavesdropping, I didn't mean to overhear. You know, well, it's a small shop, you know. So I said, no, it's fine, you know. And he said, well, you know, Empress, I just want you I want to share something with you. And he told me of his experiences. And on hearing his story, and he said to me that he was in the middle of just finishing off producing a book, you know, so he gave me this like 5 minutes condensed rendition of his experience. And then the next thing you know, he turned to this computer, turned the screen to me, and he clicked on this thing. Look, Empress, see, I have my things, you know, ready. You know, I was just trying to get hold of the publisher, the reader, but, you know, and my pressing, my clicks. As he said it, same time, I saw I saw the book front, and I thought, weird. So, okay. And the way it looked, because it had like a scale of justice kind of tilted on the thing. I said, so all right. And he goes, I got another one, I have the other one, look, and he clicked on it, and he said, this is the family one. So I said, oh, okay, all right, as you do, because you don't know where it's going to lead to, Malt Metford Chatham, big something, boss batty. So, greetings children, I don't want to get too rude. Anyway, so I said, oh, all right then. So I exchanged numbers with the brother, and I saved his number, and I said, can I get a picture of you? And he turned his face. He said, no. By that time, just click it. Yeah, man, and I just got the side view of the brother's face, and I said, yeah, that'll do. You know what I mean? And then he said to me it was going to be about a couple of weeks, and I thought, oh, all right then. So I've gone back my business because I've got a deadline that I've got to meet. So I shot out of the shop and went on about my business. And about 2 weeks later, I got a phone call, and I remember when I when I saved his number, I put his wife's name in it, full name that was on the book. And I made a conscious note of remembering the wife's name because it was an old English name, Elizabeth, and when I looked on the brother, I said to myself, Elizabeth, okay, I wonder where she come from, but I'm thinking, well, they used to name us all sorts of names, so I just remember clocking her name, but not really his. And at the time, I just kind of put it in my phone and then went back my business. And with this, 2 weeks later, I got a phone call. But I was in a meeting and I saw the number come up, but I couldn't take the call. And when I checked my phone after the meeting, I saw, I didn't even remember his name, but I saw Elizabeth. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's that brother. But I was rushing and going on to something else, so I didn't even get to call him back, right? And then I got a text saying, Empress, the book ready for you. Forget your cup in it. And I thought, where? This man is not ramping. So I thought, okay. So I put on my phone. That was the following day, and I'm saying to myself, yeah. That was like the Friday. And I'm thinking, yeah. I've got to call him. I've got to acknowledge that. I've got to text him. So I'm thinking, yeah, all right, then I'll do that on Sunday, because that's when I get my downtime and I can pick up all those calls and people that I know is out there waiting for me to return their call and contact them. Technology just keeps you on your toes. Anyway, with that said, it was Sunday, and Sunday morning come, and my friend contacted me and said, yo, sis, I need you to do me a big favour, can you reach down my yards? And I said, oh, okay, it was impromptu, So I said, yeah, all right then, I'm got to get to Greenwich, and greetings, my brother, Roger. How are you? I hope all is well. Greetings, Sharon, his good wife, and his wonderful children. And it was his strong, and, it's just an impromptu kind of unplanned, structured meeting. I know that I had to go to my brother's things, and when we finished having our lunch and chilling out for the day, then I was going to make it up to my friends. So with this, my son will get in the car, and I said, listen, son, I've got to divert and go, sir. And he said, yeah, not a problem. And he's driving, I'm sort of kicked back and cruising with him. And we reached at my friend's, and as I got out the car, and my son's parked in the middle of the road, quiet residential area. And I got out of my car to kind of check it was my brethren's yard, because I'm going to knock. But I can see he's coming out same time. This car pulled up alongside me, along our car, and said, oh, are you? with this, my man turned to his wife and she handed him a book. He said, pass me a book there. And he took the book out of the back seat area and just went, so when I look, it was this man. I couldn't believe it. I thought to myself, wait a minute. He had no idea that I was going to be here.
Couple doors down from where I live, you know? Right around my yard.
I couldn't believe it. My friend phoned me and said, look, do this for me. And I said, yes. That was the Sunday morning. It wasn't like something that was planned. Same time as I come out to go to his yard and come into my car, you pulled up. And then we stood there and reasoned. In actual fact, we just knew it was the Creator's work.
Yes. No coincidence thing. It was ordained, you know?
It was ordained.
Yeah, man.
I was just gobsmacked. My son and we started, because I then started to tell my son about the story, and we just stood up there like, wow. And you just looked at me and said, Ayo! And I said, oh my gosh. And I was just saying to you, do you know what, I'm going to fight today.
Yeah,
and that was it. The rest is his story.
Yeah,
so I'm going to... So for me, there's a need then, a duty to put this story out there. Make of it what you will, listeners. But there's a very serious nature to this story. And you don't know how me love to laugh and joke and rare. But there is an extremely serious element to this story. And, you know, yeah, and I suppose I'm going to leave it at that. The circumstances that transpired as a result of this is not a nice one for you both. You have both been married now for 12 years, and there's a need for this story to be out there, and you've had your trials and tribulations. Now, I'm going to read your caveat, and I suppose in some respects, the reason why I'm going to read it is I think it's about recognizing that everything is within a context and a backdrop. In these political correct times, one can be accused of all sorts and manner of infractions upon the public or the state when you attempt to highlight any form of injustice that is experienced by yourself or others. Therefore, to avoid any misinterpretation, I think it's necessary to include a caveat. In this book, any reference that is made to particular professions, whether it is lawyers, judges, prosecutors or police, is not intended to mean all and every single member of that profession, and in fact means each and every rogue in particular profession. Now that's quoted from out of your book. That said, the circumstances, as I said, Galaxy takes a neutral ground. But the circumstance that resulted in you writing this book, called Balancing the Scales and the Family Just Trick System. Now,
I have to make it clear to them, it's two separate books. Balancing the Scales, the criminal justice system, right, and the family just trick system is two separate books.
But the one that you've just written now is the Balancing the Scales.
The criminal justice system.
Criminal justice system.
Yeah, because we need to balance the scales, you know.
And so it's who feels it knows
That's it.
Okay, is this a self-publication?
Yeah, man.
Excellent.
Definitely, because Babylon don't want to publish this themselves, you know.
Yes.
You know, the system don't want to give it advice for so we need to say, you know. So it is very important that one do it for themselves.
And so it's about being self-reliant and ensuring that we can do for ourselves. Marcus Maslam.
Definitely.
Exactly. Okay, so this is your quote. You were ambushed and your 4 children kidnapped and unlawfully held by the Royal Borough of Greenwich.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so that's what's happened.
That's what happened.
Okay. Now, after the kidnap of your children, the manner in which you were treated was unlawful, and it was further compounded by the situation.
Well, for clarity, what happened is after them take them unlawful action, and what I'd like the listeners to understand is that there's a clear difference between illegal actions and unlawful actions. And when the state, we explain that further on the show, but when the state ambush me, for come kidnap me with them, because essentially that's what they have done in law and in every sense of the word, so when they did that, they had no regards for the well-being of the children, no regard to the well-being of our family or anything whatsoever, And when them do that now, because as we say in Jamaica, we're gone by the morning, can't go good evening. You see me, so them gone bad from in the morning, and I try to patch it up right through, throughout the whole process, and then make the situation even worse. And when them continue to do all these things, not one of these people will call themselves professionals, right? And I appreciate the fact that you have read the caveat at the beginning, because the asymmetrical warfare where them have against people is as soon as you start talking against the state or the police or anything, the quickest thing are immediately them attack you and say, hey, you can't say all. Not all of us are bad. Not all of us are this. But, on a side note, not to say it right, but when them talk about people who are immigrants, them just say immigrants. All these people that come to this country, them not stop and say, oh, some of these people. You have immigrants who are working at Canary Wharf, big bankers, Japanese or Jamaicans, Europeans, whatsoever, who are immigrants. But the point I'm making here is, when them stigmatize right across the board, them not care. But when you start talk about police, social services, judges, politicians, them will tell us, listen, you can't blanket the whole profession. You have to say some of, right? So them to start clean up for them at first. But
I think one of the challenges with, I think one of the interesting things rather, with what you're saying is that although you're not blanketing all of them,
no,
it's the institution.
Yes,
it's very self. So although you may have good individuals, good teams of people working within that institution, because the institution itself is flawed.
Yes.
You're compelled, almost forced to do wrong, and just an injustice those who ends up.
Those who occupy them seat there, because what me normally say in the family book, as I've said, these institutions, I say, I agree with you, right? These institutions have been infiltrated, right? All that exists now is just the logos. The company the whole company has long been closed. It's just the logos that exist. They have been infiltrated by scrupulous people, posing as professionals, posing as having people's best interests at heart. I always say they should move it from the heart down to the pocket, because that's what them have the people interest.
Now, let me stop you there.
Okay.
Your book, I've had the opportunity to read it cover to cover.
Blessed Empress.
And I kind of want to work from the book outwards.
All right.
Now, I've got... So I'm going to work from the book outwards.
Yeah, man.
Now, I've got a caller coming through. Caller, can you just bear with me? I just need you to tell me why the cover? Well, why this cover?
Why this cover? I was sitting there thinking, what am I going to call this book? How can I, put it across to people, out there in this world? So, I'm going to stop for a second and I think, well, everything stuck up against the little guy, the layman, the man in the street. Him are the last to know about any big changes or anything. So I say I can start out, I want to balance the scales because there's no balance. And ironically the court use scale too. And this is a law, it's about law, it's about helping the layman.
So just there, this book that you've written, what was your main purpose for writing this book?
Oh, well, when you word it like that, my main purpose for writing this book is for alerting people and helping people. My vision is to help people because quite often them people not getting no help, and when the system ambush them not getting no help. Me directly write this based upon my experiences of what I have been through. Right? Me don't want it for really, as I've said somewhere in there in the book, I don't want no one to really go through what I've been through. A lot of people going through a lot of things every day that the system targets them, especially young black youths, but more increasingly now, everybody, white, Asian, everybody, them going through a lot of pressure from the system. And it's because of being unaware, not knowing, right? And the system plays upon that. And when I say the system, there's many aspects to the system, right? And it's quite sparsical. But we talking about the criminal justice system. This segment and this, what would I say, this octopus with the tentacles were spread out, and nobody is like people powerless against a system which was supposed to be built for us. So that's my purpose writing this book. My vision is helping people to have a little say, have a little chance to stand up against, some crooked police. If the crooked police if them encounter rogue police, them better the term rogue, but me say crooked. You see me? Because them not straight. So when them come up against these crooked characters, them can know them rights and assert those rights, and not feel afraid or fearful, of these people because not knowing. Fear is a powerful force, and it is used without mercy against people who don't know. They won't be getting any what you call it? What the term what that I'd use? They won't be getting any leniency from these people anytime soon. So that's my, in a nutshell. I'm not go on for a long on that, but that's my purpose writing this book, so people can get the help they need. And too much people afraid for talk. Them afraid for talk, and when you're afraid for talk, these lawyers were out there. Them not help the people. Them help them pocket. You see me? And people need help.
Okay. One of the things that I picked up in your in the book was it's very much about your experience, like what you both have been through.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's almost, I would say, about your reflection on how the system has I would say, what was it? The term that you use has ambushed you.
Yeah.
And how you've organised the book, interestingly, is that you've looked at some of the judicial system.
Yeah.
Some. You haven't included all, but just what you've encountered. And I'm going to start with the first, asymmetrical and word semantics.
One of my favourite.
Yeah. Do you want to go through just a couple of them? Because I kind of, let me ask, what do you both do for a living?
Well, right now we're business people. I know we write, and now the writing is our main focus. Me, I'm a part qualified accountant. And from Jamaica. Well, me instead of Jamaica, I used to teach accounting as well. You come here and...
What part of Jamaica you come from?
Montego Bay, no.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I come from Montego Bay, man. You see me and England, and, you know how the thing go. When we come to England, you do everything what you can do. You do what you can until you can do what you want.
Yeah.
You know, so when you come to England, I do busy working. I do my time working over here, doing all sorts of job.
Yeah.
Until I settle now, I learn more about the system and start my own business and do my own thing. And, you know, then at the end of the day, you know how the system works. People out there know it works.
Okay, and what do you do, Magda?
I'm an author.
Okay.
I co-wrote the Family Just Trick system with my husband.
Okay.
Finished my fictitious book actually last November, and that's coming out later this year.
Excellent.
That's obviously nothing to do with what's happened to us. It's just a fiction, pure fiction.
And what's it going to be about?
Oh,
do we get first peep?
You know what? My husband doesn't even know what it's about. So,
so this is top secret.
Yeah, top secret until it comes out.
Well,
very interesting.
I would like you to launch. I want you to let us know when you're ready.
Definitely.
To put it out there.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, because
so you're an author and you're part trained accountant.
Qualified, me like saying.
Qualified.
Yeah, man.
Okay. What's interesting about this information is self-taught.
Yeah, man.
And often the lessons hard learned are ones that you've had to teach yourself.
True story.
So what I like about this book, it doesn't read like a law manual.
And if I can interject, Empress.
Yeah.
Empress, I tell you, this as simple what I did, and I spent £20,000 buying law books, right, from the Archibald right back down to every law book me can get my hand on, right. Well, in England, £20,000 I buy you much law book, but it buy you a lot, right. And I spend my time reading through them, right through, teaching myself, as Mr. used to teach before. So my grasp the thing quick. Yeah.
So you got that. So for me, it reads comfortably. And why does it? Because in some respects, like I said, I remember saying this to you yesterday, it reads almost like a journal, but it's a bit more than just a journal. It's I would go as far as saying you offer up, you don't give advice. You made that quite clear in the book because you're not in that position to give advice. But what you do give is an insight. And some of the pitfalls and some of the trickery that can actually go on.
Yes.
And I think the asymmetrical and the word semantics is a good taster. Choose one of your favorites.
Oh, all right then. One of my favorites, when we hear them say a lot.
Okay, read that one out. Let me hear you.
Them say reasonable cause to believe, right? A reasonable cause to believe can be, well, let me read it out of the book.
Yes, please.
Reasonable cause to believe. Whatever we think or assume qualifies as reasonable. Don't you know we represent the state and you don't? Right? So that's their reasonable cause to believe. That's their interpretation. You know, reasonable suspicion. Our assumptions are all that matters and are as good as gold. I just don't like you or the way you look, and that qualifies as reasonable suspicion. So are we going to do this search the hard way, the hard or easy way? Or I can just bring you down to the station, right? And I've personally experienced officers who dealt with me like that. And you just start there looking like, what's your brother? In my police or what? And this is how they behave.
Yes. Do you know, I found that so funny when I read it. I thought, oh, wait, that's how it's almost like that's the invisible message.
Yes.
That you are picking up. Here's one that I like. Imminent risk.
Yes.
Read that one.
Oh, imminent risk. I'm a professional and I work for the government. I can deem anything or anyone an imminent risk. You asking me all these questions about your rights display to me that you are a definite imminent risk, as your brain seems to be working. Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah, man. That's it. The ability to challenge authority in any way, ask and assert your rights. You become a risk. You know? Yeah, man.
Give me one more. I like this one.
Which one?
Is it further risk of harm?
Oh, You like the dance one of me?
Yeah.
Future risk of harm.
Yeah.
Let me say it again for the audience. Future, listen to the words, future risk of harm. You know, hear what them say about them future risk of harm. You know, we have to feed all these professions relying on us. So we have to generate constant business. Even though you or I don't know it, you might cause harm in the future. So why not just let us start making money off you right now and not give you the benefit of the doubt?
Now, that for me is the underlining core. It is the underlining thing that you're wanting to expose here.
Yes.
Because what we need to understand is that how these institutions actually work, and this is why you say it's been infiltrated, is that it's about money.
Yeah.
How can we
100%.
keep our structures and our systems in place?
Yeah.
It takes money.
Yeah.
How can we ensure that everyone gets paid? It takes money. Now, social services and all those different establishments were not set up for that.
No.
But what we can see is how capitalism and the need to generate money
Yes.
is inadvertently infiltrating
Yes.
what is done, be that what's right to do and what's wrong to do.
Yes.
Now, I remember reading an article that you passed to me about a young man who had been failed by the social services because social services were unable to protect him from his parents. And what was interesting was that because there was the lack of money, people were not able to provide that protection for that child, and that this was happening right across the board, the girls' social services. We can see how CAM services and mental health services are having so much cut off the budget. They're not able to give children, especially children, being one of the most vulnerable individuals, not able to give them the money, the support that they're supposed to. So on one end, on one side of it, what you have is services being cut back and failing. And then on the other hand, you have services where money is being thrown away. Now, if you remember, about 7 years ago, the police were going to have a telephone service put in, an X about of millions of money was allocated for this. Recently, it's flopped. It's fallen through. I heard that on the news once. I've not heard anything else. And so there seems to be this draining of money from out of the system. We're paying our taxes. We're paying for these services. The budget is set in Parliament, and we just have to find the money and dig deep. But what I sense that seems to be happening is that there is somehow those that need the money is not getting it, and those that don't need the money seem to be squandering
That's
it.
always the case. Well, Empress, there's a huge disparity in how this thing works, and because I've done countless. I've spent countless time researching the whole industry, because that's what it is.
Now, what I would like you to do for me...
Yeah, what I want to say is that I like how you present the part where them failing and acting as though them not have no money, and the next part where them have money if you come thief my pit to them, or come kidnap my kids them. You see, more oh, sorry.
Children.
Oh, children. Yeah, all right, then, children. What more people can understand is, you understand, because more the listeners get a clear understanding of this, just this point, because I don't want them get it wrong. These people, our children, were kidnapped in March 2012. right? Now, how the system works is that the article when they put out in the paper the other day, where Empress just highlight, it relates to a think tank was set up by Ian Duncan Smith, who did this report. These people have them agendas where they want to push through to take more people picnic at the end of the day. You know, because them say them are fail youths, so we need to take more youths. Now them come out with a new term what them call lone children. That never existed before. That's a new term when them start market. You know, so what we want the listeners really understand is this. Yes, they are failing children. I agree with Empress partially. They are failing the youths them and claiming to them to have no money on one hand, and on the other hand, them have billions for throw at another service. Yeah. So, my understand it's just political posturing and maneuvering at the expense of the youth them.
At the family.
At the family, of the families.
At the expense of the family.
That's it.
And so, when we begin to unfold, when this story begins to unfold, one of the things that I recognised when I was reading that article, I just think there is a lot of lessons to be learned. Yeah, and one of the things that I picked up from your book was there doesn't appear to be there doesn't appear to be a system in place that allows those that have experienced injustice in engaging with that system. There doesn't seem to be very clear helping structures there that says, you know what, if you've experienced this, then you can get some support in getting things redressed. You see what I mean? And I think what this book has managed to do, I think what you've managed to do is to put your story out there and at the same time give people some kind of idea as to what to look out for. Let me ask you now. Yeah. Can you tell the listeners what happened and share with us your experience? You went back to March 2012.
That's when our children were taken. Due to time constraints and all of that, I'll try to summarize it as best I possibly can.
Okay. How many children do you have?
4 children we have.
You have 4 children?
Yeah, 3 daughters and 1 son. My young lion, you know.
Okay.
So here the thing go from we live in a predominantly where them would have said in England, white people here. You understand? We live in a Greenwich, you know. And my wife was born in Greenwich. She born and grew up Greenwich. You understand? So we live in a Greenwich, and we don't have a problem with the area of such or nothing. We youth them start go school in a Greenwich, and from the youth them start go school in a Greenwich, everything was alright at the beginning when they started school. They started the school, you know, attended their school. Soon after, our eldest daughter started experience what them classify over here as bully. You know, being bullied and all these things. So
she's been bullied at school.
Yeah. You know, me call it something else. You know, me call it ingrained prejudice coming out. But them say a bully. So a bully thing, them start the bullying of my child. So me never check for that. But you know, as I said, we live in a Greenwich predominantly white. So I address the matter as best I could. Now, what started this whole situation now with us was at the school where my daughter attend. One day my wife turned up at the school. This is way back in 2010 now we are talking about. My wife turned up at the school, see our daughter, our eldest, standing there in the school with a teacher, with another child, with her parent. Now, the parent, what the child, it's irrelevant to race, but me have to say the race, because I think it has something to do with it. It was a white child with a white mom, with my black child with a white teacher. And she was standing there by herself crying. So when my wife went there, she you know, obviously upset, said, hold on, oh, you can't have my child here in front of these people, I talk to them at the end of school. Why didn't you wait until I get there? What child have parents too? Did she have her mom? So you have to wait till her mom come to stand beside her child. That other child have fear her mom to support her. and we don't know what took place anyway. She just saw that on her way walking towards the schoolyard with our child standing there with the teacher around and the other parent, and our daughter was crying with her head down. You know, so when my wife came back and tell me this now, you know, I get upset obviously. So I said, this unacceptable. So we went down to the school the next day to talk to the principal. Had a meeting with this principal person, sit in his office, was sitting there with him. May I tell him, say, listen, what your teacher did yesterday, unacceptable. You don't ever present your child to any other parent without us being there. You don't do that. We send them to school for learn. We don't send you for push them out to other people. If you have an issue or if there's something to resolve, you wait until us, the parents, get there, and then we deal with it in an amicable fashion. This principal was very defensive, you know, and the child was sitting there in the meeting. So, you know, you control yourself because them like accuse we of being aggressive. So, I said, listen, you be defensive at the in this situation. So, I said to him, say, who you here for protect or whose interests support or defend or protect within this meeting? Him say, I protect him staff. So I say, you're principal, head teacher for your school, and you have put your staff over the pitney, over the child. So I say, you know what, the meeting you done. I have not more to say to you. I say, but one thing more if you know, that teacher there, we commit that act yesterday. I don't want her on my pitney again. She lose all right to teach my child, because she's not a teacher. You understand? She don't have she don't have when I say professional, I say she don't have no sense. You see me? So she don't want her on my pitney and him support a nonsensical behavior. So anyway, now after that, everything followed. This teacher, this principal brother, I'm not a teacher, the principal brother start like him upon a whole mission attack against my family. Now let me speed up the story. What happened now? Them start make, you know, make my life little difficult at the school, make little allegations, make little this.
What sort of allegation?
I think that this one will surprise the viewers.
Yes, this one will surprise the viewers, and there's no joke. We have evidence of this.
Yeah, before we jump to that, prior to this happening, what he did, we lost trust in the school. We didn't allow them to go on any school trips. We just basically didn't trust them. So what happened towards that, there was a deputy head teacher. Now, she was someone that engaged with parents. She had more of a, what can I say, professional way of dealing with parents and children. So there was a school trip coming up in November of 2010. So she said to us, look, it'd be nice if, you know, you let your daughters go, and, you know, you can come along as well if you wish. You know, just try and allow her to go, because we don't want your daughter to be left out with the other class. The rest of the class are going. We don't want your daughter to stay behind. So we had time to think about it. We said, you know what, well, we'll let her go, because obviously this is a deputy head teacher. She was someone that we got on with. It's just the head teacher that was the problem. So we allowed our daughter to go on a school trip. Now, when I picked my children up from the school, I was then told, oh, social services have been contacted. So I asked, and, you know, they had sent the deputy head teacher to tell me this. So I said,
how soon after was that? After you after you had gone on the trip, or was this before?
It was the same day of the school trip. The end of the school day, I went to pick up my children, and was told by the deputy head teacher, we had to contact social services. So I looked at her and said, well, why? What's the reason? Oh, no Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
Your kids don't have, your children, correct myself there, don't have Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing, because obviously I didn't know you could call social services for a game.
So what happened
So it just, what could I say? I was... Even saying it now, I still cannot believe.
Nintendo Wii.
Nintendo Wii. We as parents, we don't support these type of games. We parents that, I guess, encourage reading, hence us being authors. We encourage our children to read. So when you're told by for a school to think that calling social services for a Nintendo Wii is grounds to even contact social services that is actually unbelievable.
I'm gobsmacked.
Unbelievable. So you can understand how and why even some children are neglected by social services who have serious problems.
So yeah, after she said that to you, what did you say to her?
I looked at her and I said, we trusted you. You know, us as we allowed our daughter to go on this school trip because of you. Not because of the head teacher, obviously we don't get on with him, but because of you. And she just stood there. She couldn't say anything after that. I was upset.
So, did social service come?
They did come, yeah.
Because your child doesn't have a Nintendo Wii?
Yes, our children do not have a Nintendo Wii.
Mm-hmm. So what did the social services do?
Well, thankfully, she had the sense and the experience and professionalism to realise that, well, hold on a minute, why am I even here? It's clearly a waste of time.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah. I mean, when the social worker lady will come, that's why I'm saying that the book them not all bad. Because when this woman come, she was a professional. She came and did her job. She carried out her investigation. She came to her home, spoke to the kids them alone.
So let me ask.
Oh, the children.
Yeah. As a result of the social services, they came to the school.
No, they didn't come to the school.
So they came to your home.
They came to our home.
So the fact of the matter is they contact social services.
Yes.
Social services then contact you and came and paid you a visit.
Yes.
And what do they want to establish?
They want to establish if they got there from the school. They say concerns, because that's the word they use. They have concern because the school said the kids don't have these kind of Nintendo Wii and all these foolishness. So when she came to our house now, she said she want to talk to the kids. Them also
she wants to talk to the children.
Yes. The children. Yes, blessed. So when she said she want to talk to the children and everything, we have a problem with that. So I make sure talk to the children, do our investigation and thing. The social worker at the time told us that it's our choice. What we want to do, because she closed her investigation, and said there was no cause for concern. The kids are perfectly fine, and the children are perfectly fine. And she also, at the time, said it's our choice if we want to leave the school. So she was letting us know without telling us that, look, this school is not, you need for the year, because this person, obviously this is a malicious referral. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. And she wrote us a letter in support, and we still have that letter till today, to move our children from that school. So what happened now, that principal guy wasn't happy with that, and that principal guy has contacts in the council. What he did, the social worker now closed the malicious case that he opened. He wrote to the council and said the social worker sided with us. And I never know that it was a siding thing. So he said the social worker sided with us. After he's the one who called social services. Mm-hmm. So he said the social worker sided with us. And closed the case. Now the guy we called in the council was the social worker's manager. So the social worker manager is this principal guy's contact, and we have the document to prove that he made communication with this guy to reopen the case. Right now, even sometimes talking and relating back the whole thing fills me with anger that these people, the audacity of these people to see these things and know these things and still have my children. So what happened now, we left that school immediately. We left that school and go, when you move in school now with children, you have to do it through the council. You have to make application through the council for school places. That's how the system works. You can't just go to a school unless it's a private school. I assume I've never been through the private school system. But if you're making an application to a school, you have to go through the council. I think private school is the same thing too. But anyway, that's not the point. We left school. We left that school and went to another school in the locality, not too far. Mistake. Because what that person did, he contacted his contact in the council, and his contact is the safeguarding board coordinator for the entire Greenwich. And this man has never met me before, But in his communication with this person, he's saying, oh, I'm not a nice person and I'm not a pleasant person. I think that's the term they use.
Sorry, can I just clarify? A safeguarding board coordinator is an individual that trains head teachers on child protection. Related matters and all of that. So this person was well positioned in the council to cause havoc, and he did. So when we moved to the other school, unbeknownst to us, they have already issued this. Now what we are telling you, we haven't found this out until after March when they kidnap our children. You know? This is the background story. So when we moved to the new school, we thought, yeah, finish old school, done. New school now, fresh start. No. They had already told the new school to start monitoring us based upon that principal guy from the other school and his friend in the council, his safeguarding board coordinator friend. So we are now at a new school not knowing that we are under surveillance. We're being monitored. Even though a social worker, a senior social worker, at the time she said she had 28 years experience, did our investigation and closed the case. Right? They reopened it. The principal guy who is not a social worker, has nothing to do with social work, got his mate, because that's basically what it is, to open the case.
Okay, so you're now at this second school.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, how long? I know you said some of this is happened afterwards, when you found out.
Yeah.
But how long between you leaving the school and going to the new school did you start to get problems with the new school?
It was immediately,
Yeah, it was shortly after our children started, because they started in 2011.
Yeah.
And issues started from a few months into them beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
So how many children you got at the second school now?
It'd be 3.
So you had
daughters.
3 daughters at that school?
At that school, yeah.
At the second school.
Yeah.
So what happened at the second school that led up to them finally being kidnapped?
Yeah, the second school, always we notice the actions of them. My wife has a wonder, what's wrong with these people? What's the problem in terms of how them are related? It's a new school. Now, I know that schools communicate, but the new school, we already made clear our experiences at the old school. And we're not interested to go back down them road. So fresh start. So what's that happen? They start like calling you for meetings, as they do. Oh, your child said she heard a sound. I can remember this one potently. Your child said she heard a sound, slap, bang, wallop. Yes. So I went to this meeting, and this was a meeting I went to, one of the first meetings. So I said, okay then, yes, you said my child said that. So what are you insinuating? She said, no, we just want to ask. And they said she discloses to a teacher. So I said, could you please bring that teacher who she disclosed it to, so we can talk to hear what was really said. Oh, sorry, the teacher's gone home. And the teacher is not here. And this is in the school day. The teacher would not, everyone was still at school. So I said, hold on, these people moving real dodgy, and I want to write it on a document and give it to me to sign. I said, I'm not signing anything. And I said, it was that day after that meeting, I said to my wife, you know what, we need to go out and buy a recording device.
Yeah.
Because we need to start recording these people, because they're moving shifty. Because if they don't want to discuss their so-called slap bang wallop, they claim that my child said. And how, that's
so
just...
give me a context. So the child said slap bang wallop. That don't sound like grounds. Well, so what if the child said when?
But this is what I'm saying. There's no context. This is how ridiculous they're trying to behave. So
the teacher said
they're claiming
that your child said she heard something. Slap bang wallop.
Yeah.
Well, where was the slap bang wallop?
They refuse to say any of that.
Was it in our house?
They don't give any information. What they were trying to do is say that, and you fill in the blanks, or you try to fill in the blanks, or you try to argue that statement.
Yeah, you're correct. I mean, I think what they were doing is to try and get us to sign these documents, and then hopefully pile them up and then use them.
Yes.
At a later date.
Okay, well, let me say this. I struggle with this one here. School phones me up, says, oh, Sister just done right, you need to come into school. Your son's said that he heard slap, bang, wallop.
Yeah.
My response to the teacher was I'm going to ask, what are you talking about? Slap, bang, wallop, what?
That was my similar response.
Oh, well, you need to come down to the school. For what? Your son said slap, bang, wallop. What are you talking about?
That's exactly what we said.
So what would they require you signing?
Record of that meeting of them telling you that. Right? But
okay.
Yes.
So what happened after that?
So what happened after that? That was when I said, listen, you.
So you got a recording device?
Yes, I bought a recording device because I said these people behaving
so
ridiculously.
After you got the recording device, what happened next?
Meetings stopped. They don't want to have any meetings after that. So what started happening after that is with kids just going to school, no issues, no meeting anymore after that. After recording device, no more meeting. You know, because they are aware I have it now. I tell them, look, I have my recording device. Whenever you want to have a meeting, just be aware that I'll be recording.
Yeah, they were uncomfortable.
They were very uncomfortable. So their recording device stopped all meetings. So we kept that in the car just in case. Actually, we never got to use it because I didn't want a meeting with that. So anyway, we're there at the school now. So we were start feeling, yeah, good. Get you off the back now with all this foolishness, because that's what they were trying to do. And as I've said, some of the information we're disclosing now, we never knew at the time. It's only when they snatched and kidnapped the kids we know. So on now to March the 29th,
yes,
when they kidnapped our children. We arrived at school on March 29th when the kidnap took place, only to be told by their teacher. Now, with that background I've just told you, we have no trust for none of them, for none of these people. So we were planning to leave out of Greenwich at that time to move away. The kids were aware of that because the children were aware of that, sorry. We had looked at other properties and I was planning to buy a house somewhere else. And, that week, in March, I think the holiday was coming up after.
Yeah, I think the Easter holiday was coming up in March 2012. So we were planning on taking them out of the school.
So we don't hide them kind of things from the kids, say we'll move and thing, you prepare them. So what happened is we just said, you know what, we were going to just leave, but we said, you know what, the kids have them little friend at school because we're mindful of our children, in everything we do. So we said, we children have them little friends in school, so let them just stay until the end of the week, because next week is holiday. They can say their buys over the Easter period. 29th of March was a Thursday. We went to the school to collect our children. Head teacher tell us, oh, you can't collect your children. Well, my wife went in first anyway.
Yeah, I went in first after the school day to pick up our daughters, only to be told by the head teacher, oh, you cannot collect your children from school because we've contacted social services. Yeah. Again, I thought to myself, okay, what is going on? It's the end of the school day. I can collect my children, but this woman is telling me I cannot collect my children from school. So she said to me she's contacted social services. So I left the school to the car, tell my husband that this head teacher is saying that we cannot even collect our children from the school because she's called social services. Yeah.
So you've gone into the school to pick up your children.
Yes.
And they're telling you that social services has got them. When did social services?
No, not that social services have got them. That she is basically, in essence, detaining our children in the school. We cannot collect them. And remember, this is the end of the school day. So the children are
still there,
yes,
on the school premises.
That's it.
Yes.
And they're detaining them.
They're detaining them. We don't know where they are on the school premises.
So when she told you that you went out to the car...
Yes, I went to tell my husband immediately, because I know, with little that I knew then, because obviously I know a lot now about family and law and the rest of it, I knew then that, hold on a minute, you have no right, no lawful right to detain our children in the school. I knew that, hold on a minute, there's something desperately wrong. Yeah. That this woman as a head teacher cannot detain our children in the school. So I went out, told my husband, and then we went back into the school together.
And what happened?
When we go back into the school, we went back in together. You can imagine how we feel. May upset me. I think this. I was thinking, no, maybe them just try some stunt. We mean you can't collect your kids. Yeah. At that time, I knew, as his wife said, we knew a bit. I knew a small amount about the Children's Act, and that you have your parental responsibility, you have your rights, and no one can just detain your children. Not even the police nor social services can do that. We went to collect our children, bring our children forth. So when I went inside the school and I said, listen, where are my kids? They are saying that they have hidden them. This is their words. They have hidden them in the school. They have hidden them somewhere. So I said, what do you think this is? You think this is Russia or China? Bring my kids, come forward. Or the social services and police told them to keep the kids somewhere in the school. I said, well, the social service and police are telling you to act unlawfully. Bring my kids, come forth. Right? Now, they didn't bring my children, bring my kids to me. Now, you see, that right there, Empress, but I love to make the audience understand this. Any father, mother, parent in that position would have lose them cool right there, sir. Right? I believe, personally, that's what they wanted me to do at that point. So I quickly spot the whole scenario it's going to play out. And I refused to behave like that at that time. So what I did, I quickly run and get my son at the time was with me, because he doesn't attend the school. He was with me, because we came to the school with him to pick up his sisters. So I quickly took my son to a neighbor. The neighbor I wanted to leave him, it wasn't there, so I left him with another neighbor. And my son has never stayed with no one, and never even had a babysitter in Empress.
Yeah, we have to clarify. Our children have never had a babysitter.
Either she or me.
Yeah.
One of the two. All right. So anyway, rush back to the school. Mr. The police, the police woman, and the what you call it?
The social worker.
The social worker woman. Them come, but then when you already talk to my wife, you want to tell
yes,
her
when I was at the school because you had gone
drop off
with our son. So when they came, and I need to make this clear as well, the aggression that they came with was absolutely, I say, disgusting. The attitude from particularly the detective that came, oh, we're going to speak to your children, and basically I can't do anything about it. I said to him, hold on a minute, speak to my children on what grounds? Section 47, that's what he said to me. Section 47 of the Children's Act gives them the right, this is what he said, the right to speak to our children. And when I say speak to children, I mean interrogate, interview. They like to say interview, but it's actually an interrogation. I said to him, I do not consent to that, because I'm their parent, I have parental responsibility, and I do not consent to you interrogating my children. And furthermore, give me the section 47 to actually read, so I can see for myself, because I do not trust them. I can see and read for myself whether that section 47 gives them the right to actually interrogate our children. Oh, his response, oh, go and look it up on the internet. Because I should read it on the internet. I said to him, well, no, we are at the school now, I need to read it now. In actual fact, you should have come with that document so I could actually read it, because you're coming to the school to interrogate children. You should have come prepared with section 47 in your hand. So the social worker then turned to me and said, oh, well, we actually do have that right under section 40. It's just repetitive with them. Under section 47, we have the right to speak to your children without parental consent.
So what happened after that?
So the head teacher of the school came and led them away. So I was just left there, because one thing that was nagging in my head is to say, well, they expect, especially as a black person, they expect you to behave in an aggressive manner. So I had the feeling that they wanted me to perhaps become aggressive and maybe restrict one of them from going, or assault one of them or whatever. So I just sat there calmly, waited for my husband, and then you came.
Yeah, man. When I come now, my wife said, where were kids and with these people? So she has said them gone. The teacher took them somewhere down. And so some said, well, come on, we have to go find them.
Had you had you seen them at all?
No.
Still hadn't seen them?
Still haven't seen them.
Okay, so they took them off.
Me start search of school to find them. Because me not stand up and wait for them come tell me or whatever. These are my kids. So we want to put my kids them. We want to have them. So I start look around the school till I see them down in one building. You know, and I see them in one building, one out building on the school premises. I'm going to go down there. But when me reach us, a whole heap of police. And a little bit of police. Enough police. You understand something? I think?
They did call a lot of police.
They call police.
How much?
So,
what?
Enough police.
There were vans, there were cars.
20?
Well, from it appeared to me like it was over 15, 16 police. That's what it appears to me.
Right,
Enough,
okay.
and well, a vehicle and things. So I think, what is? So anyway, we approached the building. Police and they let me in the building. The detective brother sit down, and him and the next one sit down. And I say, what, you know, what my kids? Where all of this? Oh, them we sit down. Then them one come say to me, you know, oh, we a disclosure was made, and we just come to do we investigation. And so luckily, very luckily, before I come out of the car and come into the school, I stretch past, cross over in my glove compartment and pull up my recording device. And I pull up my recording device and had it with me. So I'm going there with them because may I say something smell bad about this. So I have my recording device in there. I obtain all of them consent. I know why they give it now. They never think it would be in anything later. But yeah, that was the thing that sent the dagger in the heart. So I press the recording device, get all of them consent, sat down, start asking them, what is this all about? They refuse to disclose anything to me. Then back up a little bit with the recording device and I say what they wanted to say. Cut a long story short, me never know what happened that day. In the school, them still never told me the disclosure. When my recording device stopped, because mindful, it was the first time I use it. So me even not know if I use it properly, I just press record and put it down, and then me start fiddle with it stopped. As it stopped, him say me arrest you. Fair assault. As the recording device stopped, him arrest me. When him arrest me, I say, up to now, you know, tell me, want to claim some kids say, want to claim anything. What is? So them arrest me, them never arrest my wife, them say allegations made against me. I say, alright. Funny enough, you know, at the day, this is a private conversation between me and my wife. What we have. On that day, when me and her walk towards the buildings, on that day, we're walking towards the building.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when we're walking towards the building, I said to her, baby, I want them people up to. Prepare yourself, you know, because them probably arrest you too. Because we don't know what them all about. So I said, prepare, because she's never been arrested before. You understand? So when I went and them say allegations towards me, I was feeling relieved. Why was I feeling relieved? I know this, whatever they're doing was cooked up and malicious, but at least I know, say, okay, my wife is there. She ain't a part of the lies that they want to tell, and the kids them would at least go home with her. So I'm me alone. Me can't stand it. Me a man. But when we reached there, them said the allegations were directed towards me. Later on when me I left now, she walked me to the police van. Then them run come arrest her. Right? Run come arrest her.
They were running towards me at the school. When I walked with my husband to the police van, they ran towards me. Where's the baby? Where's the baby? Because at that time my son was 3.
So he wasn't going to the school?
No, he wasn't attending the school. He was due to start in October of 2012 nursery. He was due to start nursery.
Yeah.
So he obviously was at home with us at that time whilst our 3 daughters were at school. So when I was walking with my husband, I just heard, where is the baby? Just shouting, where's the baby? You know, I don't know if, some of the viewers perhaps have experienced police and how they shout and become so aggressive. And that's deliberate to obviously instill fear within the person. So they were shouting, where's the baby? Where's the baby? So I said, what baby? Because a 3-year-old to me is not a baby. So I said, no comment. So what happened, there was a female officer, detective, she looked at the other colleagues and said, shall we do her for obstruction? So the other colleagues said, yeah, we'll do her for obstruction. So immediately, my rights read and handcuffs placed on my wrists, and I was handcuffed in front of the school. So whilst my husband was in the police van, I think we were in the police van?
Yeah,
the police van. I was handcuffed in front of the school.
What must have been going through your mind at that time?
You know, to tell you, so many things were going through my head. First of all, where are the kids? Where are my children? Where are they? Because at that point they were in the school, but we didn't know the exact location. Where are they? Number two, can they see me handcuffed outside the school? Can they see the police vans and the cars and all these things? But it's a surreal feeling because you feel it's like an out-of-body experience. I don't know if your viewers will understand what I mean by that.
No, I think they will.
It's as though you can see yourself.
In the moment.
Yes. So I'm standing there with my hands behind my back, handcuffed, outside the school, parents looking and all these things going on, with a load of police. Just a surreal feeling going on. And you just can't believe. I think it's disbelief at first. Yeah, disbelief.
What were you thinking? What were you feeling at the time?
Me?
And I know you've kind of explained that you wanted to kind of just take the heat because then at least you know your wife would have gone home with your children. But when you realised she'd been handcuffed, what must you have been thinking?
The anger I feel is like none of that I ever feel. And I look at me and say to myself, because I know the first time police abuse them power against me. Me always protect my family. Right? My wife never been arrested and all these things, and my kids them never get caught up. My family are my life. My family I want to protect. Enough people know me and I know my family, you know. For years, you know.
Yeah.
Them don't know nothing about my family now. I protect my family. So at the end of the day, when this happen, I'ma see them Babylon people here, mainly be a white red face, I arrest we up like some slavery thing, and I hide me pit them and all of this. I tell you, I'm angry. The anger will fool me. It full up my body, man. I'm not put in the words, you know. I'm not put in the words because it's like me just sit back and I watch the man them try dismantle my family. And I look and I say, look how hard me work to protect me youth them. You see me? At 12 years, me and my wife here go on. And personally, me no business, but me is not a man who intrusive in a people's life. Quite frankly, me no business about people's life. How me live my life is my life. And me protect my family. Me invest a lot to protect and shield me youth them from certain forces. These forces. And to protect my wife the same way. And for the man them just come raid one time, rush in. Just come do all sort of sitting. And just violate. But I sit back and I just sit down there and look and I say, boy, imagine I saw man like Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey, what them I feel like when I go through them time there. Them something are wicked and rough. For you just sit down so and a man just come one bag of them, this bully attitude, this gang attitude. Because to me the police is a gang. Right? I mean I'm pretty up the thing. It's a gang them. Them just a gang in uniform.
So basically you're
me
sat
hurt.
there and you're well.
You see me?
I'm sure there's lots of listeners out there that wouldn't even want to have to contemplate such an experience. So you've both been arrested now.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you're either in different vans or you're going
different
down
van.
there.
Yeah, man.
What happened at the police station there?
At the police station, them book we in and book you in as they normally do. Me and wife, we refuse to sign nothing. We not refuse to sign it. We refuse to sign everything. We refuse everything. We're not interested in no one else.
So where's your little boy now? Still with your neighbour?
No.
Where's your little boy now?
Them not take him away to man. Them not kidnap him.
All our 4 kids are in care.
So after they've asked you, where's the baby? How did they find out where the baby was?
Oh, the neighbour when me left him with, because me come in and tell them. So the neighbour call when me leave, because them kind of hear the people call, like in call and say somebody left the kids off for a long while and come back, and I saw them no. The neighbour through them see me come back, come collect him. Them call Babylon and say, look, we have a child, we have him child, we neighbour's child. But when we want to get close.
So then they came along and got the little one.
Yes.
And in the meantime, you were both in police custody at that time. Okay, how long were you held for?
Just the night.
Overnight.
And then let go. One more want to clarify and come up on radio. My wife, these people like use term children are in care. Me not believe in under them statement, so make it clear. Children aren't in care. My children have been kidnapped. They're not in no care. The care they were in is in my home. Right? And for all the kids them. These words they use, come a big on words. You can't come say you care. You understand? For people where you kidnap. No care, no did it. So, the statement, baby.
So for you, it's not about them being in care.
No, they're not in care.
It's about children. Yeah. It's about them being kidnapped.
Kidnapped, and they have been kidnapped by the Royal Borough of Greenwich.
Okay, so let me just quickly put things forward now. Your children are in care now, or they've been kidnapped, and they've been housed. Mm-hmm. Now, the case against you must have started soon after that.
Oh, what a wonderful question.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. This is now we're more clarify now. We go to the police station. We wrap that part up quickly. Go to the police station, let me out, put me on bail. My wife now, they try to get her to accept a caution for obstruction.
Yeah, so what happened to me when I was in the police station, so bear in mind I was arrested on the 29th of March 2012, yeah? So I was put in the police cell, right, after they booked me and whatnot, and left overnight. Now, bearing in mind I wasn't questioned or / interrogated by police. I wasn't questioned at all. So upon leaving, they wanted to give me a caution. Now listen to this. When the policeman proposed the caution to me, he said to me, I have to say to him that I'll accept the caution and then he'll give me the paper to sign. I don't know if your listeners got that. So basically, in essence, what he wanted to do is have my consent that I would sign something and then bring the paper to me to sign. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Yeah. So I said to him, well, hold on a minute. I'm not stupid. I know I need to read something first to make the decision before signing it or not signing it. Mm-hmm. So this officer said to me, I need to tell him I'm going to sign it and then he'll bring me the caution. I said to him, I don't accept your caution and I will not be signing it. So when I left the police station, they put bail conditions on me saying that I cannot, they put interfere with prosecution witnesses, also known as our children. Yeah. That's what they made clear, that we cannot have no communication with them, directly or indirectly.
Yes. And just to clarify for the listeners, police process and procedure, a little brief thing. It works like this: caution, arrest, interrogation, and then after that is either bail conditions, no further action, you get a date to go to court, or they can put people on return to station to sign or whatever. The important bit is when they arrest someone and take them to the police station, the purpose of the arrest is for further investigation. That's why they take someone to a police station to further investigate the matter, i.e. an interview in police station room, the custody room, the interview room. Now, they have missed out a crucial process. Now, this is not a procedure which is just a verbal or a can-do or a willy-nilly or whatever. It is backed up by PACE. It is backed up by PACE codes. It's backed up by statutes. It's a procedure that has to be followed. Right? So it's not something that a police can choose to do or may do. It's something they must do. If a police arrest someone on the road, they have to caution them first before they arrest them. Mm-hmm. Without a caution, arrest is not valid. So when they caution a person and arrest them and take them down to the station, right, there must be an interview or a no further action. But before the bail conditions is placed, there has to be an interview. Mm-hmm. What are you going to place bail conditions for if you haven't interviewed the person?
So basically, they place bail conditions on you without interviewing.
Yes.
Yes. So you then leave the police station, and you then leave the police station. Mm-hmm. So what happened next?
We left the police station. Police seized our phones. Right. Yeah. So we had no sense of communication with no one. We didn't know where children were. The immediate thing, no information as well. They gave us no information as regards to where our children were or how to contact anyone or do anything. So we left the police station blank with nothing, just left
So what
with
did
bail
you
condition.
do next?
Immediately I went and bought a phone. We went and bought 2 phones.
Yeah.
Right? And immediately I wrote a letter because we left, it was a Friday evening when we left the police station, a Friday evening, so it was over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So we bought phones, and on Monday, I think we delivered the notice to the council. On the Monday,
Yes.
we delivered, we wrote up a notice and delivered it to the council, because I was saying that I want to know where my kids are, and I also want to know, I want these people to be able to communicate with me, right, to tell me where my children were. You know, so we wrote a notice and put our phone number. We dropped one at the police station, one at the council, one this because we don't know which other route to take at the time. Now, what I want to do in the interest of time is to revert back to the school and the legal implications of what they did that day, right? So listeners can understand what they did and how far gone the actions that they took at the school that day. Number one, right, the allegations that they said, further we found out in the police station when I was in the interview room, right, they claim that my daughter was assaulted by me, and the assault that took place that they claim at the time was a punch, that I had punched my daughter in her face. That's the allegation, in her face, with such force, and that's where they messed up big time. With such force, I punched her on a Saturday, and on the Thursday, the 29th, I punched her on the 24th, they claim, and on the 29th, her back was still hurting her, right? Now, that's their claim that they made. Now, before I move on and get down into that bit, first and foremost, at the school, when they took our children on the 29th, they claim, because the documents that they filled out, because they are so haphazard all over the place now with their story that they're cooking. The 28th is when they said that the disclosure was made about a punch in the face that happened on the 24th. Now on the 28th, we went to school to the school to collect our children. Nothing was said to us about any alleged punch, nor any alleged anything. We picked our children up from the school, took them home as usual, right? Thursday on the 29th, we dropped them back to school in the morning again. No one said anything to us. Now on Thursday evening, on the basis of the same allegations that they claimed was made on the Wednesday, they came in and took all our children. So the question now that is there for everyone to ask, well, why didn't you act on the 28th, number one? Why didn't the school inform you of any concerns on the 28th? And if their so-called allegation was true, why did you let the child come back home with someone who punched her in the face so hard the last week?
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, if you're going based on a punch that they claim to have been with so much force that her back was hurting, surely some member of staff would have spotted perhaps a bruise or something on the Monday.
Yeah, because they said the punch happened on the 24th,
Saturday,
which was a Saturday. 25th is 25th is me. 24th was a Saturday, 25th the Sunday, 26th the Monday, 27th the Tuesday, 28th the Wednesday, 29th the Thursday, right? So she was punched with such force on the Saturday, and it's all the way until the Wednesday they claim disclosure. So
the long and short of it was, the allegation that was made was that her father had punched her in the face.
Yes.
And that's what the teachers were responding to in terms of why they felt the need to phone social services.
And the police.
And the police.
And the police, obviously, because you could behave in a certain way. And obviously...
Well, I want to clarify, Empress, before you even go on from this end. Nothing like that didn't happen. That's what I'm saying. No punch happened, no claim was made by my daughter. Even until this date, my daughter said nothing to these people. Hence, that's why they had to hide them in the school. My daughter's made no allegation whatsoever.
Let me ask you a question. Have you both been able to see them since March the 29th?
Yeah, yes.
You've been able to see them?
Since March 29, 2012?
Yeah.
Yes, we've seen them.
Well, I have to clarify that because when they kidnapped them on the 29th of March, we didn't know where they were. it wasn't until May the 19th that I saw my 3 youngest children.
Yes.
Bear in mind, we didn't even know where they were, who they were with, if they were sick, if they were cold, if they were hot. What happened, if they were crying. We didn't know nothing. No social worker, no police from the Kate team. And I'll have to clarify, Kate is a child abuse investigation team. They were the ones who came to the school along with uniformed officers. So they claimed it was under police protection that they took our children. But it's actually a kidnap.
So here what happened now. Somebody can clarify now. When they came and kidnapped our children, remember we told you earlier that the principal from the other school is friend in the council, and his friend in the council, which is a safeguarding board coordinator. Lo and behold, the detective who came to the school that day, who is that guy? It's that person. That person is the ex-colleague of the detective who arrested me. So the safeguarding board coordinator
in the council,
and the detective who arrested me, they're ex-colleagues.
How did you find this out?
My own research. I found that out. And remember, this was revealed to me later. I didn't know this at the time. But for me now, what happened is when you find such drastic actions are taken, right, something must be wrong. When we were at the school today, the implications of these people coming to the school and taking the children is this. Number one, I think it is their own judge, President Mumby, who in his ruling said that no social worker and no bureaucrat has any authority to take anyone's children, right? Only the court can sanction such an action, you know. So when the social workers came to the school that day, first and foremost, the school committed a serious and lawful act by detaining and falsely imprisoning our children, hiding them in the school. When a disclosure is made, the correct process, as according to their guidelines, especially the London Safeguarding Board guidelines, if the child is a non-mobile child and makes an allegation of assault or physical abuse, a social worker needs to be called. This is their own guidelines, and the social worker, upon coming and attending to the situation, need to do an initial assessment of the situation, and after doing an initial assessment, then the social worker can make their own judgment and decision as to what they decide to do. What has happened?
Ascertain what happened.
Okay, greetings, caller, you're live on air.
I can barely hear you, but greetings.
Greetings.
Greetings, Sister Jasanra, and greetings to your guests. I didn't quite get their name, but...
Blessed love.
Greetings,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth and Davion.
And Davion.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clearly.
I want to say rise up to the couple. It's good to see a united, strong couple.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Empress.
Because they always show us in the propaganda that we're not together and we're apart.
Yeah, man.
So you're a good example, and I use you as my role model.
Oh.
Thank you, Empress.
Right. I like the fight. I've had similar experience. I'm not going to name who I am, but they never got my child because I smelt it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Blessed.
I was concerned about... It's like they're taking your eyeball and they rip your heart out when they touch your children.
Yeah, man. Real talk.
It's like that. And the concern is it's not been about yourself. You're wondering, where have they taken your child? What are they doing to your children? That's all that's going through your mind all the time. Because out there, they're using this cover. They're legit. That's what they get.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
But they're in disguise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, what your husband said in the beginning about how they put these clothes on to say they're police, but they're really sick, insane people. And they cover themselves with all these documents and all these policies to do their dirty deeds. I want to ask you one thing, because I'm concerned about this.
Yeah.
When they took your children, did you find out if they were safe or anything happened to them?
No,
we didn't find out nothing.
What happened is...
Nothing at all. We didn't know where they were. if they were safe, who they put them with. Because remember, they're also known to put them with people who are convicted of certain offences as well. We didn't know where they were. Where in London, where in England, we didn't know.
Yeah, man. You see, when them take them and kidnap them, might be great fear fill my body because we don't know where they were. And the worst thing about it for us is that we kids not used to nothing outside. You know, they never go through no kind of experience like that in no sense. And these people never ask anything about our children because our daughter, well, me not call her name for the thing, but when our children has her skin, she get rashes and stuff.
It's like eczema.
It's like eczema, and she itches. You know, and if the environment is not clean, she'll itch. And these people told us nothing. And you know what they did, which hurt us, Empress. They took our children and we never know where they were and returned them back to the same school.
Yes. Can I just interrupt? All of those, I'm thinking like you because I'm in your position here. You're thinking of all these little things. You're not thinking. All you're thinking about what they're going to get. Who is they going with some child molester or something?
Exactly.
People are running a business.
Yes, man, racket.
And big money is to be made with this, especially within the fostering industry.
For their filth.
Yeah.
Sis, do you have a question? Would you like to pose a question?
The question, what I'm saying to you, when they're taking our children, and it's getting worse now, we need to break the law and protect our children.
True story.
People are now running, when they're hearing they're going to come and take you, they're leaving their country and taking their children.
Yeah, man.
I'm giving people a warning out there. These people are not legitimate people.
Yeah, man.
They are there as gangsters to take our children and to sell them and to do nasty things with our children.
Exactly.
Okay.
Glad that our brother and sister here is doing it by their crooked law, because their law is not straight.
Definitely.
Yes, agree.
Well, give thanks, sis. Thank you so much for your words of encouragement.
Listen.
Thank you. Excellent. So, bring us up to date now. I know the time is short, and I'm going to read out the phone lines. The numbers to call us on is 0753 800 800 565634. Alternatively, you can reach us on 0798, that's 0798 385 385 292952. Or text us on 0757 0757 222 222 212156. Greetings, caller, you're live on air.
Hello, Galaxy.
Yes, greetings, sis, you're live on air.
Hi, Sister Tracy.
Greetings, can you turn down your radio a little bit for me?
Tracy, I haven't got a radio on, it's the phone.
Oh, okay, alright then, go through. What's your question?
Tracy, I just want to share experience with you, what happened last week with my grandson.
Okay, go ahead.
My granddaughter phoned me and told me 8:30 this social worker and police knocked her door, and she was so confused.
Right.
They came inside and say the social worker and the police, they got a right to take her child away from her, and she was saying, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
They said, all right, you need to sit down, but what's happened, this little boy go to nursery, he had a scar on his face. But at the time when the social worker came with the police, the mother was in so much shock, so she couldn't think clear.
Right.
So she wasn't quite sure where the bruise come from or anything like that. So it was on her, like, where's the bruise come from? The child was sleeping in bed. They went in the bedroom, take the cover off her, look at him and everything like that, and say, we got to take it further in the morning. They look at the baby. The baby was fine. After they did all that, they went into the kitchen cupboard. They checked the cupboard to see if she had food in there. They checked the fridge to find out if they had food in there. They checked the house. They said, oh, the house is so clean. Your cooker is so clean. It doesn't look like you ought to use your cooker. But what was so distressing to her, one of the police officers said to her, I think you need to go to the gym. Question said, why is one of the child black and one of them is brown? They questioned her about the colour of her children.
Right.
Because she was in so shocked, she didn't answer the question properly. So the next day, I got on the phone, I ring the social service regarding this. I said, I'm the grandmother, I'm not happy with what happened with my daughter-in-law and grandson. I just want to know why they question her about the colour of her children and telling her to go to the gym. The social worker said it was the wrong move, they shouldn't have done that. But what happened, when she went to the doctor to have some tests done for herself, the African doctor reported her and the child to the social worker because they think the child was underweight or have a mark on her face. So, she's quite distressed. The police officer ring her straight after I called her and said they're sorry what they did. I said, no, that's not good enough. So all Friday I've been trying constantly to get through the social worker because I want to take this further with the police. You can't question a young person about their size and about the colour of their children. That is totally not professional from a police side.
Okay, sis, thank you so much. I'm going to leave it there and you can call me Sister Jasamra and not the other name. Anyway.
Okay.
So look, thank you so much. And I think one of the points that was raised earlier, stay on the line a little bit. One of the points that was raised earlier was that there doesn't seem to be a grassroots organisation in which people can report their concerns and these injustices and examples of what you've just told me, right, to the authorities. Because if it's happening to you or yourself on the phone, on the phone, then how many other countless other people is it happening? Sis, do you want to make one last comment before you go?
I'm just sharing my experience with the, with the call listeners and your guests inside there. I think it's so important that we do take notes from each other and learn from each other's experience, because it's happening out there, but it's not much people coming forward about it. People think they could deal with it by themselves. For real. That we need to get together and fight together.
Well, give thanks, sis, and I look forward to talking to you soon. My aspiration is that we're going to follow this through on another show. Yeah. And because we've just had a couple calls, but we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg. So bring me up to date. Bring me to present date.
It more bring it to present date.
Pen.
Oh.
Yeah, bring me back to present date now.
Well, present date, it's hard to bring it to present date without giving it the past. Let me wrap it up then. You've mentioned, my wife mentioned something. I'll pick up on 3 points, right? First, for all the people out there, more of them to understand this, these people have no powers to do what they're doing. So make people know that clearly, right? Not because everybody doing it, no means say it right. They do not have any powers under this section 47, and I've held them out, I've caught them out fully with this. Section 47 of the Children's Act, it imposes a duty, it imposes a duty to investigate, right? It's not an automatic right to enter your premises, talk to your children, or do anything like that. Section 47 of the Children's Act, and I want parents to understand this, Section 47 of the Children's Act, it does not, because they fraudulently use that a lot. They come to parents and say, look, we have powers under Section 47. They do not have any powers under Section 47 to do anything to anyone. These powers under Section 47 are there that to impose a duty to investigate.
Okay, greetings caller, you're live on air.
Yeah, greetings.
Greetings, sis.
Greetings everybody in the studio.
Give thanks.
I just phoned in I've been listening to your programme, and I just phoned in to say that I work in a school, and in the school that I work in, they have this thing that they've set up now called a place to be, basically. And within this organisation now, children get to write down their concerns, basically. If anything's bothering them, so they say, they write it down, slip it through a letterbox thing. The people read this. They're like social worker kind of people, Kidscape or something like that. They call themselves. Anyway, they read it. They call the children in. They start to question the children, and then before you know it, I've seen it on a few occasions in my school. The police is called in. The parents are called. The children are taken away from the children. So the thing is, this kind of society club thing, I don't know what it is, but it's run in quite a few schools. So the thing is, we've got to tell our children, if they've got any concerns, they are not to go to this place called a place to be. They are to discuss it.
It's definitely not the place to be.
Do not go and visit that place, because they're taking a lot of children away.
Yeah, man.
This society thing, this thing that's going on.
Do you know what's interesting, sis? I know about the place to be, and I know about Kidscape, because on the training that I do in mental health, specifically around young people, they have quite a prominent position, and I think as of recently they've received some funding to do some work around mental well-being in schools, because so they say. Now I've
realised is that there's a lot of children and a lot of black African children being taken away.
Yes, yes, yes.
The lady was screaming. She said, "Look at my hair," she said. "You've taken my children. What do you want me to do?" She was shouting. They had the police and everything. And simply because a little girl went to this place, must have told her that her mum must have smacked her or whatever, they're down on you like a ton of bricks. Because we're not supposed to discipline our children anymore.
Now,
basically.
Do you know what, sis? Thank you so much for sharing that. Do you want to make any last points?
No, that's all I want to say.
Well, thank you.
Parents need to be wary, and parents need to tell their children if they have any concerns within the household. They need to be talking to their parents and not going to school and talking to these people.
Okay. Give thanks for that, sis.
Right.
We're going to have to definitely pick this back up, because if I know the place to be, and if this is happening right now, then who is holding the place to be and Kids Company and organisations like that accountable?
No one.
Okay, greetings caller, you're live on air. Greetings caller, you're live. Greetings caller, you're listening to me on the radio, but you're not picking up that I'm hearing the sound bites. Greetings caller, you're live.
Hello.
Yes, greetings sis. Come true. Yo, greetings sis. Do you want to ask your question or make your statement? Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. Greetings caller, you're live on air. Greetings caller, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, greetings my brother, you're live on air. Do you have a statement or question?
Hello, Empress?
Yes, greetings, you're live. I can hear you clearly. Greetings. I can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me, Empress?
I can hear you clearly.
She says she can hear you, man.
Greetings, caller. Greetings, caller. I can hear you.
Ask me a question.
I would like you to ask a question or make a statement. Anyway, sometimes we do have technical issues here, and sometimes people cannot always hear us. Anyway, the numbers to call us on is 0753 0753 800 800 56563434. Alternatively, you can reach us on 0798 0798 385 385 2952. Now, bring me up to date. Make it brief before the next call comes through.
We make it short. Where we're there right now, my intention right now, because I'm a research now, I'm a know them thing now, I'm a know them law, I'm a been through it, I'm a experience.
So what I would like to know, where are the children now, and how is the case? Is it, what's happening?
All right.
Where are things at to date?
There's never been a case. There's never been a case. And where we're there right now, we have written this book, and the children now, we are go back for the children them. go take them out of Babylon hand. But at the end of the day, we choose to fight and help people. Hence why we written these 2 books. And I want people to know, say, you know, right now, we've built a website because, as Empress just said, you find that there is no organization or nothing at all to help people who experience injustice by the system. So what I've done...
No, there are organizations to help people. No, there are.
Empress, let me finish on my answer now, please.
Yeah, let's be factual.
No, we are be factual. I mean, be very factual.
But there are organizations. It's whether those organizations are effective and meeting the needs for the community.
And that is fine. That is your view. Me I tell you, say, what me I talk about, there's no organization to help this. That's why they kidnap so much pitney. You see me? At the end of the day, what you call it? I have built a website called legalrebel.co.uk. That's my website. Can I help right now? I actively help parents with social services cases. I act as a Mackenzie friend. For many people who don't know what a Mackenzie friend is, a Mackenzie friend is a person who in the family courts assists parents with their cases. You know, we do not go in the court and present the case for you, but we help you to present your case. And it is better to have a Mackenzie friend than one of those professional losers they call lawyers in the family court.
Greetings, caller, you're live on air.
Greetings.
Greetings, my sis.
Right. I'm a social worker.
Okay.
Make a statement. I have been listening to the caller, the person, the parents. And it is sad what has happened. However, as a social worker, you have to follow the protocol, and your job is to safeguard vulnerable adults and children.
Go on, sis, I can hear you.
There is a problem in terms of following the protocol, and it's very difficult at times for a social worker to make that sound judgment. I've heard what the parent is saying about kidnap. It's not kidnap. We have a job to do, and whilst I empathize with them as a black woman, I do empathize. But unfortunately, we cannot just take the law into our hands. We have to do what we have to do, and to protect children. There are lots of children out there that get hurt, and we have to be mindful of the responsibilities that we have. As for saying that they didn't know where their children were, that was wrong. The social worker should have got in touch with the parents to let them know where the children are.
So, caller, can my guest like to ask you a question? Oh, Elizabeth would like to ask you a question.
Yes, I just want to clarify to you that with our case, when the police kidnapped our children, it was supposedly under police protection, which was 72 hours police protection. Now, what social services, the Royal Borough of Greenwich, didn't do is go to court. Now, you're supposed to go to court for an emergency protection order. They didn't do that. Therefore, they had our kids unlawfully.
So that's tantamount to kidnap.
Of course it is.
Could I add something to it as well? Let's thank you for calling in, social worker lady. It's very nice to hear from one of the guys in that field. You know, it's very good so the listeners can hear two sides to the story. Now, what happened now is that a police protection, when a police takes out police protection, because that's what the guise that was used to kidnap our children, what needs to be filled in is what is called a police protection record, given an account by the police of why the children were taken. Because these powers on the police protection, it's under section 46 of the Children Act that, you know, gives the police that duty to use to use police protection powers. Now, section 46 imposes a duty to use police protection powers in the most extreme cases, not in cases like this, extreme, when the children are at imminent risk, right? Now, what happened is, in our case, until this day, the police have failed to produce...
No more, excuse me, sorry, let me stop you there. Callers, no, listeners, no more calls at the present moment. Right.
Yeah.
We're not accepting any more calls at the present moment. Sorry, go on.
Yes, there is no. Where was I? Section 46. Yes. In
Unless
our
it's
case,
imminent.
unless it's imminent
Yeah.
risk. Now, no matter how you want to, the definition you want to place on imminent risk, that has to be something which is, it wasn't built to be used in a manner to kidnap kids from school. It was built to be used if you find a child walking down the road.
So, caller, would you like to respond?
Hello?
Yes, would you like to respond?
Yes, and it is true. And sometimes we've got to be mindful as social workers, as police, how we use our powers. Yeah, the Section 47 is there to investigate.
Yeah.
Okay, and to ensure the children are not placed at risk. And the social worker who would have investigated it would have had to go back into the office, speak to her manager. Just to let you know, I am not just a social worker, I'm also a manager. So I have responsibilities for social workers.
That's nice.
And it is for the manager to ensure that the information that is gathered, yes, that there is evidence to back the information that's gathered.
Exactly.
Listening to the parents this morning, it sounds as though they're, it's a shame because the protocol should be followed correctly.
That's all we asked for at the time.
Because even up to now, there has been no initial assessment from the social worker who
until this day.
Who attended the school.
47, can I just say?
Yeah.
Section 47 is closed. Once the investigation, there is two sides to the investigation, okay? The police, once a referral is received into social care, this is what happens. Once you receive the referral into social care, you send the social worker, the manager has what's called a strat discussion with the police to let them know we've had this referral come into the office, and then the police then decide whether they want it to be a joint investigation or a single agency investigation. Now, once the joint investigation, if it's the joint investigation, so that's the Section 47 investigation. You do have to keep the children, I have to say, because I'm not saying this is the case with these parents, but remember, if you're going to investigate, say a child come and say, my parents are hitting me, okay, and I'm scared to go home. I'm not saying that was the case. You cannot then send the children back into that, because then you have to investigate the matter. Okay?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why on the 28th, oh, sorry, madam, were you finished?
Can I just say, sometimes children are, because we have to make sure there's a safety. But once that's closed, once that investigation is closed, and it cannot go on forever, so you can't still be in a Section 47 investigation, that would be wrong.
Okay.
So what's the duration?
That Section 47 should be closed, and there should be a decision that following the core assessment. There is an initial assessment, what we call a core assessment.
That's it.
It is now called a single agency assessment. Once that is carried out, that will make a decision as to whether these children are at risk. If it's at risk, then what should have happened? Should be an initial case conference should be called.
Exactly.
Has any of this happened in your case?
No.
This is what I'm saying.
They didn't even do a
case conference. Once that is done, it will be deemed that those children are at risk, and therefore, and as a matter of fact, before it gets to that, what should have happened? The social worker should have gone to court to seek what's called an emergency protection order.
Exactly.
That's it. So can I interject now?
The social worker should have sought an emergency protection order. If an emergency protection order is granted, then the next thing that should happen, because that will only last for a period, a short period, then what should happen from then on should be an interim care order that should be.
There you go.
Following the interim care order, that interim care order can take some time to still allow social services to work with the family. We're not there to fight against parents. We are there to work with family because the courts are not in favor of children being taken from their parents. The courts are in favor of families sticking together. So as a social worker, you must be able to prove that you've done everything in your powers to keep these children safe. And some of that means that you must involve parents as far as possible in the decision making, and to try to rehabilitate, if it is that we feel that this parent is being overly strict, then it's about, okay,
can you do some parenting classes? Let's help the parents. So, for instance, they should look at whether there's a need to help these parents with parenting classes, with this, with that. And then during that time, that's when the interim care order. If there are no changes, and because you have to plan for children, especially the parents were saying that there's also a baby and there's an older girl or whatever. Listen, because of this, you then have to look at permanent. You have to think about what is in the best interest of the children. So there is a thing called permanency planning. Now, because of the Victoria Columbia case, because of the Baby P case, social care, we have had to restructure the way we work.
Okay, sis.
This is about safeguarding. Let me just say it before before I end my call. So, really, we have to think about what is in the best interest of the children. Are we going to return the children to their parents because they've done all the programs that they should be doing? Or are we going to look at, making the children feel safe and secure in whatever environment they are? And I have to say to you, once I understand it's difficult, it must be really difficult for them because it's been a long time since those children have been taken
2 years
into care by social care and the police. Really, they should have been having supervised contact with their children. They should be allowed to see their children.
Okay, would you like to respond now?
Yes, Empress, I really appreciate that you called in today, and you sound very genuine. So let me say that first. And what you've been saying about the protocols and procedure, I would like to point out that you're on the right path. You know a bit about what you're saying. However, that's where everything went wrong in our case. No protocols were followed. No adequate. Let me start. How do I make it concise? As you've said, they're supposed to have a strategy discussion before any of this. What they do, they didn't have no strategy. They had a strategy discussion in our case before they actually did an initial assessment, which in some cases is okay. However, until this day, we don't know whatever was discussed at that strategy discussion or anything. We weren't privy to that. No. When they came to the school acting under Section 47 before they did an initial assessment. That's backwards, right? Number 3, they told the school to hide our children in the school, to keep our children away from us. And I know, as a social worker like yourself, who sounds genuine, knows that is totally and utterly the wrong thing to do. Right, so they told the school to hide our children from us. Then after that, right, kidnapping them. And when I say kidnap, I know that word, I see that word kind of bothers you because you said you acted in the best interest of the child. Now, from our experience, no one that dealt with us acted in the best interest of our children. So, please forgive us when we don't take that mantra, that slogan that's used very seriously, right? As we've said at the beginning of the show, some people, we're not tarnishing and stigmatizing a whole profession, and I don't want to get asymmetrical here and go off into something else, but we all know what we're talking about. The procedures in our case, and in many cases, thousands of parents' cases all over the country, and as Empress pointed out before, the caller, she said people are afraid to come forward to let people know. They're afraid of the stigma. So that puts a serious power in the hands of social workers. And what I'm quite, I have strong feelings about, is that social workers, because they're taking someone's child, they have nothing invested in it, right? They themselves are more polished than the parents in terms of presentation, because when you start talking like a person like me start talking, you're speaking with a lot of emotion, and the general public listen to you and say, well, you angry, while the social worker sounds polished, because at the end of the day they have nothing invested but their name. Just their name, their profession. But I want to let you know, Carla, and I said thank you very much for your call with what you expressed. But in our case, all of that went through the window that you're talking about. There was no initial assessment, no child protection conference.
No core assessment.
No core assessment. And before I forget, when they took our children under this so-called police protection, when that expired, they didn't go to court to obtain an emergency protection order.
No,
they didn't. And they held our kids for 3 weeks after that without a court order or without any lawful authority to do so.
No, that cannot happen.
That happened in our case. That's what I'm saying to you.
I would love to meet with you.
I would love to meet with you.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Let me stop it right there. Sis.
It did not happen.
That did happen.
Okay, well listen to this.
Sorry.
Listen.
Take over the thing.
Sis, what I'm going to ask, if you could do, I've written down your number already. Because
Keep straight now, please.
okay, I've written down your number. I will contact you after the show.
Yes.
So I'm going to sign you off now. But thank you so much for your contribution. Don't go away.
Do some work with you guys.
Brilliant.
Yeah, man. Blessed.
Station around.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for your call.
Okay, sis. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do, I've got the sister's number. You're going to be coming back in a couple strong's time, which we had spoken about.
Yeah.
Because I think what needs to be said, there's a lot more to the story.
There is a lot more.
What's interesting, and I thank you all for your input and your contribution, what's interesting and what's going to unfold is the discrepancies and the clear things that they did not do. That you're basically going to highlight. What I'm very encouraged by is the Place to Be and Kids Company. Now I know those two organisations, and I'm surprised to say, and I don't know them personally, I work in mental health, I'm aware of them. I am surprised to hear how families are being infiltrated through the children secretly writing what their concerns are. And so imagine how many other parents, and thank you so much to that teacher that called in. I'd like if you'd call back and I can get your number, because and all I really want to do is gather the database and create a space where this kind of information is shared and is directed somewhere. Now, you gave out your website details, and what I'm going to do on the next show, in a couple strong time, we're going to be specially giving away 3 of your books. Next couple strong's time. And they will be signed for those that call in next couple strong time. And what I want to do is continue with this, because I think there's a lot more to be said in terms of the law and how, I mean, one of the great conversations that we've had, which has been many, is how, well, my aspiration is so that people have a good understanding, a good understanding of child services and how it works, how that funding attachment works, and how the monetary part of it manifests itself. So with that said, I'm going to ask you to make your closing statements, and because we do need to wrap up the show now as it is.
All right. Yes. Well, listeners, thank you very much for the time and the ears. I
would like you to tell people also the name of the book, and that they can pick them up at Safrika Organic Health Centre.
All right.
Okay, so do you want to tell them the name of the book?
Yeah, man. Balancing the Scales, the Criminal Justice System, Who Feels It Knows, by myself, Davion Plowright. And also, my wife, the next one, the Family Just Trick System, by Davion Plowright and Elizabeth Plowright. And also, you can email me to, at info@legalrebel.co.uk. That's info@legalrebel.co.uk. You want to say it for me to baby, me all advice.
info@legalrebel.co.uk.
Alright. And my website is www.legalrebel.co.uk. And also, as I say, I act as a Mackenzie friend for people involved with the social services. And also, with anybody who have the social services problem, because, through experience and knowledge now, or as I say, knowledge, you know, deal with people and point them in the right direction. There's so many things that they do unlawfully, and that they shouldn't do, and because people don't know. And I've been helping families now for over the last year now, you know, fight these people and go through the courts, and, you know, even assisting. You know, ironically enough, I've helped a couple of families get their kids back, and they still have the grasp on my children. Sorry, not kids, my children. And my case is so important right now in this time because they held my children unlawfully, and they have them unlawfully now for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. And I have the evidence to support all of what I say, and this is why they're locked into them, because the system no one accept what they have done. Now, baby, I'm going to move on to you. We have another time to talk. Thank you for listening, and thank you very much, and blessed love.
Well, what I would like to say is obviously a message to parents out there who have had their children kidnapped, taken, however you want to view it. Just stay strong, and what I do to try and cope with our children being taken is not to dwell on what are they doing now, are they hurt, are they crying. I try my best not to dwell on that at this point in time. So try and remain positive, and just know that you are their parents, and no one ever can change that. You are their parents.
Yeah, man.
So stay strong.
Wow. Well, we're going to hear from you again. Let me just quickly tell the listeners. You'll be back with us, Jarwilin, on the 12th of July.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to be here from 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We've done all the intros and so forth, so we'll be pushing straight on.
That's it.
Okay.
Forward.
Yeah.
Phone lines will be open directly about 9:45, I reckon. Because I know the listeners really do want to engage. Yeah. I'm going to do some groundwork between now and then to see if there are any other services that are doing or picking up these patterns. I'm going to follow up with the social worker that called in and the teacher that brought in the information about what's happening in the place to be. You know, I'd like if you could contact the studio, where I'll try and pick up your number.
Could I just mention about, as I said, you can get the book from Safrika organic food stores, you know, up there in, you know, our Flusham way, yeah, balancing the scales.
Yeah,
justice system. Who feels it knows.
Excellent. And just to let the listeners know, there's going to be a cooking workshop on the 12th of July, and that's going to be at the Safrika Organic Health Centre. The group. Yes. There's an organisation. Well, what I was saying was that there doesn't seem to be an organisation that's accountable. Yeah. What I want to know, I think the Dr. Abu has brought it to me, right? Who are Kids Company, the place to be, accountable to? That's what I'm asking the question, because the work that I do within mental health, I've come across this organisation and spoken about their works. And what I want to know is, who are they accountable to? If they are using this method to interact with the children, asking children to raise their concerns, put it in a box, and then, based on what the children are saying to them, calling social services prior to speaking to parents, and then parents are having to be brought in afterwards. I want to know, who are they accountable to? And what I am going to do, in the next couple of strongs, I am going to follow up that inquiry for myself. Because what I have noted is that they have received a certain pocket of funding, and they are working within schools. I don't know how far-reaching they are, but I know they're in the work in the immediate London area. That's what I'm aware of. It could be Southwark, Lambeth, Lewisham, Boroughs, Croydon, but I don't know. But what I do need to do is to do some research around that, so that when we come back in a couple of strong's time, I don't know the magnitude of this problem, but just by the 4 or 5 few callers that have called in, then there's a lot going on out there. And I think as well as opening Hornet's Nest, what we want to do is provide solutions and look what presently is happening within this service so far, and where some of the inequalities is starting to come up to the surface. So with that said, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for coming in. Maximum respect, Elizabeth.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, my brother.
Blessed love, Empress.
And I know there's some frustrations. You may not feel like you've been able to get it all out there, but like I said,
tip of the iceberg with us.
This is exactly, and I knew this was going to take 2 shows to unpack, because there is so much more. So much more.
Begin yet.
I know. And remember, I've been talking to you for the past 4 weeks, and we've had lots of discussions and lots of hours talking about this. Someone don't know.
You know what amazing for us as parents, we can still smile. The judgment there, we still smile.
Well, I think to see that you've come out at this end, you're still going through it. But you've been able to recognize your trickery, and not to be caught out, and to be able to have the sense to speak and to write your experience down is got to be a great thing. So this is Sister Jasan Ra. Don't forget, at Safrika Organic Health Centre, you can contact us on 0208 469 3682 in order to book your place at the organic store. Book your place at the community. It's the cooking masterclass, coconut cooking masterclass. That's going to be hosted by Prophet Newton on the 12th of July. So if you want to book your place, know that the places are very limited. Please call us on 0208 469 3682 and book your place. Yes, I'm going to be back in the house on Monday nights from 7 to 10 on the Sisters Space. Please don't forget, be there. You'll enjoy it. And big greetings to Sister Lukamore, Sister Anowa, Sister Itali, Sister Prophetess, Sister Oracle. Hey, I got it out. Sister Culture, Sister Yavina, to all the sisters at Galaxy, you done know, keeping it strong. I hope I haven't left anyone out. You've been listening to Sister Jasan Ra. Peace out.
Yeah, man, the big Rasta man Maccabee. Big up Sister Jasan Ra, coming from my man Maccabee. Oh, them a DJ and they've never played a 45. And something about the feel and the vibe. Say Sister Jasan Ra says she know about the 45. She know about the feel and the vibe. Yo, yo. Big up Sister Jasan Ra, coming from my man Maccabee.